Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg, and guess what? I have that one larger performance car from that iconic German brand. What is it? It's this vehicle right here. This is a BMW M850i. But before we get into this supersized performance car from BMW, let's talk about what's going on here. Most car enthusiasts, when they think BMW, they think M3, M4, even the M2. But you know what? The 8 Series really has grown into its own. Now, most people would want an M8, but this M850i brings a twin turbocharged V8 power pack punch, all-wheel drive, and also a grand touring comfortable environment to be sitting behind the wheel in. Now, when it comes to BMW, it's one of those things that you have your other German brands that are in competition with BMW, Mercedes-Benz and Mercedes-AMG, Audi, of course. But what I want to find out is, if you're looking for a larger performance car, is this the must-own, the must-buy when we look at the M850i? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, the color. The sun comes out, it's a pearlescent white, it sparkles like a diamond. It actually looks and sparkles like the diamond that the old woman threw overboard at the end of the movie Titanic. And here it is in the flesh. Now at the front of the business, you're gonna get those laser beams, laser lights from BMW. So you have your upgraded BMW laser headlights, LED daytime running lamps, and I love the way they modernized the halo design and LED turn signals. Of course, having those freaking laser beams on the tops of the sharks' heads is one of those things that you could have, but it's better just to have the laser lights. Love the angular style. Working our way down, the body color, a little bit of gloss black, but you'll notice the ginormous opening to bring cool air to those heat exchangers. And we also have corner air curtains as well. So you're getting that form, you're getting the function, and you're getting a good look at that design. And then one thing I've always liked about BMW is how they incorporate a lot of that aerodynamic aid, like splitters and canards and stuff, into the actual front fascia. So instead of having a splitter that comes along the bottom, this is the splitter to help give us some downforce and help with aerodynamics. Now, as we come across that front grille, there's many people still arguing, families that are being broken apart because of the debating going on still about the ginormous grills on the M3 and the M4. Well, guess what? With the 8 Series and this M850i, you don't have to worry about it. You have the smaller traditional grille shape, that kidney grille shape with the flat black. You got your M badge. Remember, M stands for motorsport with the motorsport colors. You have vertical slots here, gloss black, forward-facing camera. And then the same thing down below. You have lots of functionality. There's actually active aero shutters behind there that open and close to let more or less air in. Plus, you have these openings on the corners here where you could get easily German Frankfurter to be able to slide in there. And then along the bottom, you do have an air dam to try to stop as much air from going underneath the vehicle, because we don't want lift, we want downforce. But definitely in the modern era of BMWs, this is one of the cleanest designs that I think is gonna last the test of time a lot better. Now, as we rise up, I freaking dig how the body line's nice and tight with that kidney grille. You got the BMW badge, so much history. And then you have that long aircraft carrier size hood. Slopes down really nicely, and to think that there's a twin turbo V8 underneath the hood. And remember, BMW didn't make cars at first. They actually made airplanes and airplane engines, especially during World War I. And then once World War I was over, they went to motorcycles, and eventually, by 1933, they made their first car. And if you didn't pay attention, if you were one of those kids wearing the dunce cap in the back corner of the classroom because you weren't paying attention, World War I went from 1914 to 1918. There you go. Now coming around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So you're gonna get that traditional wheel design from BMW with the machined aluminum, the gloss black, that V-spoke design. We do have the BMW badge looking good in the center. I like the way they went black on the calipers with the M badge. And those rotors are over 15 inches in diameter, all four corners, 20-inch wheel. And if you're wondering about the tires, up front tires are gonna be 245 on the width, 35 series sidewall, and of course we have adaptive suspension all four corners. But let me know what you think about the wheel with our particular sparkling pearlescent white. Now as we rise up, and I have Lori swing around and show you that side fender vent, a little bit of gloss black, a little bit of flat black. They do a great job with their side mirrors. Look at the way they put the arrow into them. The gloss black, they are power folding, and you do have LED turn signals, 360-degree camera. From the side, you could see the long, low shape of this vehicle. And it's fascinating because there's not a lot of cars that look like this anymore. It really has a particular look, and it provides a particular driving experience. Color matched on the door handles. Love the way everything is body color. Even the size of the quarter glass, I think this is one of those things that it just helps with the overall style of the car. And then spinning around back, remember we have all-wheel drive and rear-wheel steer to help you get through those tight, twisty bits, whether it's in a parking lot or your favorite twisty road. Love that flared fender coming off the side into our trunklet spoiler, gloss black trunklet spoiler. They do a great job with the LED lighting. The badging M850i and X-Drive. Whenever you see that, that means the vehicle has all-wheel drive. Now working our way down to ground level, digging the massive exhaust openings. You got those trim rings, the quad tip exhaust. My big zonk is this thing. Why did they put a fake looking grill back here? That just looks dumb, to be honest with you. So I am gonna zonk that, but we do have that beautiful exhaust. Why don't we go ahead though, while I'm sweating like crazy, let's pop the hood and see the power of this M850i. All right guys, we got the hood open. You do have hood struts. Underneath the hood, I don't know how these engineers do it, but they were able to shoehorn this engine. Not a lot of extra room, but I do love the engine cover with the M Performance badge, the BMW badging, and of course those motorsport colors. But what are we looking at? You're looking at a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 pumping out 523 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. It is bolted to an 8-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60, this car is very unassuming. 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds, quarter mile in 11.3 seconds at 125 miles an hour, and top speed for some strange reason is governed to 159 miles an hour. The vehicle does weigh, she is heavy, 4,400 pounds, MPGs, 18 in the city, 25 on the highway. So you're definitely getting the performance that goes with the M badge, even though this isn't an M8 per se, but this 850i does have that twin turbocharged power pack punch. Why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and hear what the heck it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this BMW M850i. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I've always wanted one of these. You know, I used to love the 6 Series. This 8 Series has always made my heart pitter-patter. I'm not really a M4 and M3 kind of person. How much is it? Good question. Asking price is right around $72,900. Let's see what BMW brings for the M850i to the door panels. Love the leather. Leather up top, contrast stitching. You got 2 memory seat settings, the Harman Kardon sound system with good looking speaker grille covers, no gloss black, leather on the armrest with the contrast stitching, and you have a large enough door pocket there where you could get 4 Wiener Schnitzels and some fries, plus a root beer to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, more of that leather, the stitching, really, really nice all the way down. Slide on in, you're gonna be greeted to 12.3 inches of infotainment system. So you have your navigation, you have all your easy accessibility with information, especially when it comes to driving information. You could do sport displays. You could also do energy flow. That's gonna show you how the all-wheel drive hits the 4 corners of this vehicle, and you got your trip data as well, but I don't care about MPGs and stuff. I care about going on throttle. Now, throw it into reverse, backup camera, clear as day, nice trajectory, and you have your 360, where you could make your adjustments here. It'd be really cool if it showed Latte Lori right there, filming. I think a lot of people would probably like the view right about now. But anyways, moving on from that, we're right back to home, working our way down. You do have dual climate, not only dual temperature, but also dual fan speed, which is really nice. We do have ventilated seats, 3 stages. Love the nice simple layout of the audio controls with a real volume knob. I'm even digging this silver trim. Everything doesn't have to be carbon fiber, guys. Open the door, wireless charging, USB-A, 2 cup holders, and a 12 volt. Close the door. This is going to control our 8-speed automatic transmission. You got your BMW iDrive controller. You can go into your different modes, sport, comfort, all those. And I like the way it's got an actual white M50i. You know what we're doing. We're going to be going sport, but we're also going to go sport plus, baby. That's how I like to roll in my BMW. Like the silver trim, the leather, bums away. You have a USB-C at 12 volt and enough room in there to where you could actually fit 2 original Game Boys. The original Game Boys are the best. I don't even need a color Game Boy. Black and white is fine. Excite Bike, just give me that and leave me alone for about a week. And I don't need anything. Just a restroom, some water, and some bread. That's it. Seats, the leather, love that nice soft comfort. Stitching is great. Full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver. This one doesn't have a sunroof, so you could be sad all you want, but you do have quite a usable rear seat. It's actually not too shabby when it comes to rear seat room, which is nice. And the way they bring the leather and the stitching and everything, it's on needlepoint. I promise you that. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the M steering wheel in this M850i. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have this beautiful aluminum sill plate. M850i badge illuminates at night. Pedal box right out of a race car. And see, it's real easy. Aluminum dead pedal, that's what I always ask for. Aluminum brake and throttle. And then, of course, you got your usual seat controls, easy to get to. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here. It's a good sized vehicle. Steering wheel, the leather, the thickness. I love the way they do the motorsport stitching, the red and the two different blues. It is a heated steering wheel, and you have leather and stitching on the horn button, like the flat black on the switchgear. You do have paddles to go up and down that 8-speed automatic, and you do have that electric tilting and telescoping wheel and that beautiful digital gauge cluster that when you change the modes, it actually changes the screen a little bit. So there's Eco Pro, there is Sport and Comfort, and then there's Sport Plus. And of course, should have known better. Yeah, Richard Marx. That's how we roll. 80s on 8, baby. And you got a head-up display. But you know what? I'm gonna show you the trunk just because I wanna be nice, but then guess what we're doing? We're gonna go on throttle in this M850i. All right, guys, time to get into the trunk. It actually has electric assist, so you don't have to hurt your muscles. You're gonna be greeted to 15 cubic feet of space. Quite a bit of room. Those seats do a 50-50 slide down. And then what's nice is that they give you a safety kit underneath this panel that has little BMW Band-Aids. And then on the passenger side, you see that big cargo net there? Lock in your box of Twinkies for when you're going on the Autobahn and gonna top this car out at 159 miles an hour. But you know what? We don't have the Autobahn. What we do have is the Radies Rides test track. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for an on-throttle spin in this M850i. All right, guys, we're leaving Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. We're in this BMW 2024 BMW M850i, and right away, you're gonna love the interior. I mean, it just has that perfect amount of luxury, but also the performance and the comfort. Plus, you got the ventilated seats, you got the dual climate control, you have all the goodies that you want. Visibility out the front is phenomenal, even out the back with that very sharply angled rear window. Visibility is actually great, and the side mirrors are fantastic as well. Getting to the 12.3-inch, short reach, lots of good information, full touchscreen for those that love touchscreens, and then the digital gauge cluster is very, very well laid out as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the shift lever. I am going to pull it over to the driver's side. That's going to put me in manual shift mode, where I'm going to use those paddles and we're going to go on throttle from a dead stop. You do have a small gear indicator, let you know what gear you're in, and you do have the head-up display as well. But if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Golly! Good sound from that twin turbo V8. No artificial noise I'm noticing that's getting pumped in through the Harman Kardon sound system. We do have it in Sport Plus mode. I wish the gear indicator was a little bit larger, but other than that, the shifts are very fast, both up the gears and down the gears. And with the rear wheel steer, like I said, you're gonna make child's play of even some of the tightest of corners. But the sound of that V8, man, nice to hear the pops, the bangs coming out of the exhaust. It's just so comfortable, much more comfortable than what you would find in an M4 or an M3. But yet you still have that performance. We got the adaptive suspension, really helps control body roll. But let's be honest, I mean, you can feel the weight of this car. I mean, she weighs 4,400 pounds. That's quite a bit, but she is a technological engineering marvel with how she performs. Unbelievable. But we're gonna see how she handles in the twisty bits. If you're ready for that, I'm definitely ready for that. Love those downshifts. You ready? On throttle, here we go. On the brakes. Nice, look at that, yeah! Really balanced. She's a lot lighter on her feet than you think, because with that X-Drive all-wheel drive system, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. Let's see how a U-turn goes with the rear wheel steer. I mean, look at this. Rear wheel steer, U-turn, like taking candy from a baby. On throttle. Remember, it's rear wheel drive biased, and then sends power to the front. This thing is a German cruise missile. Look at this, super smooth, very composed. And I love the way you're hearing the sound of the exhaust, but you're not getting a lot of other outside noise like wind and tire noise and everything else. And then when you're just driving like a normal person, it feels good in here. I mean, lots of room. You actually have two rear seats that you could put a grown adult in. Is it gonna be the most comfortable? No, but it's definitely more comfortable than a Camaro or a Mustang, that's for sure. And then you have all that information all at your fingertips on the digital gauge cluster, on the infotainment system side of things. Just very, very well laid out in here. I like this setup better than the bigger screens that they put in the refresh BMW M4 and M3 and whatnot. Love those pops and bangs. You ready? On throttle! well, so well. And it actually communicates really well through the steering wheel. It's nice to see BMW working back towards communication through the wheel. But the way it throws its weight around is quite phenomenal. It reminds me of Jim Belushi. Jim Belushi was not a thin guy, but he could dance and throw his body around like there was no tomorrow. That's how I feel about this this M850i. Just really plays very well. Downshifts are super smooth. Just the thrust, the torque, the sound of the V8. I mean, it's intense. It's freaking intense in here. Especially for a Grand Tour. Paddles are at a good place behind the wheel. I've been going up and down that 8-speed like a piece of cake. And just very comfortable in here. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of this 2024 M850i. We got to get back to Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg. Definitely got to thank Miro and the rest of the team getting us access to this BMW M850i. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you think. Is this the must-own larger performance car, a Grand Tour with twin turbocharged V8 power? Let me know your thoughts in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Got to give it up to Latte Lori. Today we are doing ice lattes out here because it is hotter than the surface of the sun. Thank you, Lori, for caffeinating me and also for bringing me the liquids. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.